Hello everyone. Welcome back to X Machines channel. The rotor is a spare part widely used in engineering, computing, chemistry and medicine. In the next 10 minutes, we will discover how a huge rotor is produced. The rotor shaft is usually made from steel. In this factory, they apply steel casting method to produce billet. A steel casting is the process of pouring melted steel into a mold cavity. The liquid steel solidifies in the mold cavity and is then removed for cleaning. Heat may be used to make the finish meet desired quality. There are various choices of patterns materials such as wood, metal, wax, plastic, foam, etc. Metal patterns are used in this factory to meet high volume production. The pattern consists two parts that almost the same. After treated with varnish, they are placed in large steel frame. Sand is filled in the frame. It takes about 10 minutes for the sand to be hardened and form the shape of the pattern. Before this, workers stamp the name of customer on the sand to recognize. Oxide paint is used to treat the pattern to improve its surface quality. The whole frame is placed in the oven to dry the varnish. Two parts of the pattern are placed side by side. The engineer calculates to ensure parameters of the finished product will be correct. The positioning of the core is a delicate operation. The second half of the shape is rotated 180 and superimposed on the first one. The centering pins act as a guide and facilitate the correct alignment of the two frames. Iron is melted in an 18-ton oxy-combustion rotary kiln. It takes about 2 hours to reach the temperature of 1500 degrees and iron is melted. Electric furnaces are very common in heat treatment. The furnace is built from a steel cover with a refractory lining surrounded by a copper coil. An electric current generates heat in the coil. From the electric furnace, the liquid iron is poured into the ladle. The waste left on the surface are removed. Temperature is checked regularly. Frames prepared before are filled with cast iron alternately. About 1 day later, a large mechanical arm and a shaker stirs the cast iron that frees them from the sand. Rudimentary billet after coming out of the molding department will be brought to the smithies. At the workshops, hydraulic free forging press machine are working on pillars for shaping. Hundreds of metric ton pillars are heated in the forge. The temperatures applied can reach to 760 C to reduce the hardness for improved machinability. Heat treaters will follow materials response in each condition of time, temperature and atmosphere to decide appropriate types of heat treatment such as stress relief, annealing, normalizing and hardening, quenching and tempering. Engineer must understand properties of this alloys in order to design process to ensure they consistently achieve the required metallurgical and mechanical properties. At present, instead of a hammer to shape the pillar, forging press whose energy is transferred by the hydraulic pressure is widely used. For better dimensional accuracy, most of the process are automatic. By controlling the compression rate of the press forging operation, the whole pillar can be deformed and microcracking is reduced. The rotor shaft is placed on a heavy-duty face lathe machine. Before the shaft is placed on the machine, its size is measured and appropriate machine is operated. Machine tool that rotates the shaft about an axis of rotation to perform various operations such as cutting, facing, and turning. The cutting tools are usually made of high-speed steel or carbide tipped. The tool is brought into position with the shaft. In this process, the shaft rotates while the cutting tool remains stationary and produces a flat, smooth, and sculpted surface. The pillar is usually tilted or lifted after each line. This is done hydraulically or manually in order to prevent the tool surface from chipping when the shaft travels back across. Copper turns, collector rings and retaining rings are installed to finish the rewinding. The whole process is carried out manually and takes about 8 weeks. High-speed balancing will be proceed after that. Repetitive surge oscillograph measurements are used to detect any missing. The rotor will be transferred to customers after the parameters are approved.